And just as a reminder, this is a welder. This is not a welder. Just used a bunch of these to remove the rest of this, for the most part. Came out in chunks. But I'm ready to start repairing rather than just removing, so that's pretty cool. Getting ready to weld in a patch lip that the nose comes down and attaches to. So this is my setup. I'm using these magnets so that it doesn't move backwards. I'm using these to make sure that they are level with each other, both sides. This side I screwed up a little bit and cut it a little bit short. So can't do it without screwing up a little bit, I guess. But I can put in another piece there, no big deal. So what I'm gonna do is tack in several spots and then get it going. This piece is not as thick this way as the one that it is replacing, which is both bumper and the inner part. So I am welding it to the lip that it was attached to before, and that should get the job done. Far from perfect like almost everything I ever weld, but it is a lip. It is pretty much level. It follows the right arc, and it should work. Those magnets, very helpful. Recommend them. So I've also removed the lip that was boxed. So now I've got to figure out whether I want to remove this entire floor section, which I don't want to do, or just splice in the section that's going to go here and here from the same sheet pan, which is up there. The other thing that I need now is to create the rest of this that swings across there. I'm thinking of trying to use this thing, which I've been cutting chunks off of, to put the lip in. Oh, and I've also trimmed around there as best I could. There will be a bit of a lip, so I'm not sure how the replacement panel is going to fit in, but doing the best I can. Welding in a little patch piece here also. It is covered in booger welds, but it's going to get hidden, so I don't really care. It's solid and better than it was. So I'm going to take it again. All done for now. The episode may continue, but it also might just be cleaning up, and all done for now. I'm pretty happy with what I got done, getting those two little patches in, the long lip underneath where the new panel is going to go, and then that little part on the right front A-pillar down near the footwell. But to be absolutely clear, if it's not obvious, this is not a welder. This is a welder. Let's make sure we understand that. I own a welder. I am not a welder. I grind, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of having to do cosmetic welding, the thin sheet metal on the nose. I've got a strategy. I think I'm going to be patient. I'm hoping that it comes out all right, but we won't know until we try. I'm going to have reasonable expectations. I may need to use a little bit of Bondo to, what do they say, hide my crimes, but it's going to be better than it was, because it's not a gaping rusty hole going like that, like a nurse shark or some damn thing. So anyway, moving on. Quick reminder, I bought an extra one of these thinking it was going to be the rest of this that I need. So I have cut it up. And what I have now is going to go something like that. A little bit of refinement. Cut a little bit more off on that side. Slide it back a little bit. I will be drilling a bunch of holes in here to spot weld, and I will do some 1-inch tacks every 3 or 4 inches to hold the front on, and it should work. Got it a little bit more roughed in. I've cut off more of the top, and it meets there, it meets over there. It does actually have to be farther this way than expected, so there is a gap. I will have to weld a patch over that, but that is fine. I got plenty of meat to really get this thing welded in. I just got to clean up the rusty stuff I'm welding to. I will probably do an overlap patch there, seam weld that, patch there. And the end result will be a pretty solid, pretty functional piece that will get hidden by the floor pans and go from there. All right, I'm gonna weld it in. I got a few gaps to fill because obviously this doesn't fit perfectly. But I think I'll be able to get something done. Success. So what I got going, this metal here is too thin to weld directly to. Right in here I tried a little tack weld. It's just it's fine, but I'm gonna need to put a plate in there. I want to kind of cover that up anyway, and then a plate down here. Okay, covering that. Just, you know, use some of that sheet metal right there, and then I'll probably need a little piece for this lower section right here. You can see that. But generally speaking, like the bus moves with this thing on there. So I'm not a great welder, but I welded the hell out of this thing, so I'm gonna take it. I will be able to make the floor pans fit. They may not be exactly right, but to borrow a term from what is it, VW Life, great channel. They have a lot of fun stuff. Some cool guys down in Austin who just hunt and find buses and some bugs, and they work on them. They got a variety. It's a great channel. Anyway, they call them roadsterations. Basically, what can I do to get it on the road? That's my goal here. I'm going to get this thing on the road. I'll do some refinement of the interior to make it a nice space for me and my wife when we're out camping and stuff. But right now, I just want it to look pretty good and be solid as hell and work. So that is what I'm working on now. I'm really happy with how I've been able to modify this piece. Not having to make one. It's good, thick, almost 1/8 inch thick steel. So very solid for what I'm asking it to do, which is great. More solid than the crap that's over there that's all rusted out. And I think it'll, not rusted out, but rusted, surface rusted. So yeah, anyway, back to it. Cut out the section of the floor pan that I need. I kept this crease, fold, bend, press, whatever you want to call it, as a locator. I will have to trim up in here a little bit to make it work around some of this, but that's fine. I will spot weld along here, and I will seam weld every now and again along here, and then when I'm done from underneath, I will seam seal it, and it should be good to go. Roughed the shape out pretty good and then just kept nibbling at it. I'm feeling pretty happy with where it's at. Got some spot weld holes popped in with my hole cutter. See them all right there. And I'm gonna put it in. This line is not perfect, of course, but it's gonna be close enough. I can fill in some gaps with little L brackets if I need to for reinforcement. Welded in, not the greatest lighting. A lot of this is just this rubber sort of bed liner kind of thing that I've scraped off because I'm about to put the next panel in there. It's looking pretty good. It's solid as hell. Welded all the way along there. I made a little L bracket that I could fill gaps and just flange along the way. Welded most of that, spot welded, it's in solid. I also added a few cut off pieces from that same floorboard to get that sealed up, so that's done. I still have to seal up that. I'm working on that panel now, which is here. This one, I bent into it a piece of, this one I bent into it a flange so I don't have to make a separate one. I think it should work. One of these kind of lines up with one of those, but I'm not wedded to perfection on this. I will hammer it in place, weld it in place, and do my best. Far from perfect, but I have a floor. It's solid, and when it's covered with this kind of stuff, it'll hide a lot of my sins. It's solid all the way to there, and then around here again, filled that in, and I added a piece there to reinforce this, connect it to this. There were some holes there, so I'll take it. Floor welded in. Pretty happy with that and that. Don't look too close at the booger welds, but you won't see them anyway. I am super dirty and very tired, but this has been a good week of progress. Getting the floors, the, what is it? It's not firewall, whatever that thing is. Just getting it all buttoned up. So now I'm hoping in the next episode, I'll actually be able to put the nose skin on and see how that goes. Just happy with the progress. My wife basically said, you get this whole week, do whatever you want, don't worry about the kids, be selfish, and that has really helped a lot. Usually I'm doing other stuff with the kids or teaching summer school or coaching my son's team, you know, that kind of thing. So she just said, you get to do your week in your way, and I've made some really good headway, so I'm super excited about that. Up next is a quick trip to Vegas with the family. That's going to be a blast. When I get back, hopefully the weather won't be horrible and I can get cracking on the actual nose skin and button this thing up a little bit. So anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you. May everything in your life be as positive as things are going right now in mine.